Hello, in this video I'll be showing you how to customize your own model kit, and the example I'll be using will be model kit Unit 0 from Evangelion, the anime. Before you start this project, these are the tools you're going to need. You're going to need an X-Acto knife, a couple of files, some nippers, some super glue, some skewers, the spray paint of your choice, the model kit, some gloves, and a thing to keep the skewers secure in. They will all be in the link in the description. So the first part of this customization of your model kit, you're gonna need to start the test build. And the test build, what that means is you put together all the parts before you start painting or doing anything else you want to customize this model kit. And what the test build is for is to see that none of your parts are broken, and if they do break, this is where you're going to be using your super glue to keep them together. And you're going to make sure not to place any stickers on this part because you are going to be spray painting the model kit, so putting on stickers will just ruin your build. This will most likely be the longest part of your build because this is where you'll be cutting out all your parts with your nippers and sanding your parts down to make sure it looks good, and you'll make sure not to put any stickers on this part because in this next part you'll be washing your model kit. I will no longer be talking for the rest of this part because I've explained everything I needed to, and there will be timestamps depending on where you need to jump to, like, once I finish talking. In this next part, you'll be taking apart your model kit. This part should not be as long as putting it together, because in this part you'll only be taking off the parts you will be painting, and the parts you don't need to paint you could just leave put together. And if you do take those apart to get to the parts you need to paint, it wouldn't be that hard to keep track of them if you place them in a baggie. I didn't do that, but you can, and it would make your life a little bit easier, but it wasn't that hard when I didn't sort it. Disassembling your model kit, and I would recommend using the X-Acto knife tip number 4 if you bought the one from the description. The reason I recommend this one is because it's flat and it fits in between the parts very easily. And while you're taking it apart, you don't want to pry from one side only, you want to pry evenly from 2 different sides, because if you pry from one side, that will make breakage really. You're not going to be able to take all the parts off or disconnect them with just the X-Acto knife. Some parts you will need to push out with a skewer, and the reason I recommend a skewer is because it's soft and it won't really break it. But you don't want to apply too much pressure, because that will break it. In this part, I'll be showing you how to wash your model kit. In this part, you're gonna need a strainer and a bowl of soapy water. So, the first step of this part is you put your parts into that bowl of soapy water and leave them in there for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes has passed, you can strain them with a strainer, and make sure to wash them off until you see no more bubbles on your model kit. And after you wash them, you're gonna need to dry them down by patting them each down with a towel, and then leaving them covered in the kitchen towel, so if there's any moisture that you didn't pick up, that towel will. In this part, you'll be needing to also wear gloves, because the reason you're washing it is to get all the oils that came from your fingers off, to make the next step easier. And you'll also need to wear gloves in that part too. In the next part, I'll be showing you how to paint your model kit. For this part, you're going to need your skewers, sticky tack, and your spray paint, of course, and a piece of styrofoam. So in this part, you're going to want to be using your skewers and put some sticky tack on each end of the skewer for each piece you're going to be painting. I recommend doing this before you start painting the model kits and not while, because it just makes the process easier and go by faster if you already have them all on a skewer. You could use an alligator clip for this, but I didn't, even though I had them, because not every part had a part that can be pinched by the alligator clip and be painted easily from. And during this part, you're going to be making sure to follow the instructions that are on your spray paint. Mine said to spray paint about 10 inches away, and in between every coat, you're going to want to wait 3 hours. And for the coats, I would recommend putting at the very least 2 so you don't see the original color. I would also recommend using masking tape on this part. I didn't use it, but if I did, I think it would have made my life easier. On the parts I recommend using the masking tape are the pegs, because once you put spray paint on those pegs, it gets harder to push them into other parts that you need to push them into, because it wasn't designed to have a thin, to be a little thicker than it originally was. So if you put the masking tape, I feel that it will make the next part a lot easier. Step 5, which should be your last step of customizing your model kit. In this part, you'll be needing to take off all the spray painted parts off your model kit and just reassembling everything. During this part, I would recommend wearing gloves, because when I did it, didn't wear gloves, I got a little bit of my fingers oils onto the paint, and it doesn't look as good as it originally did. But I'm pretty sure that I could just fix that by wiping it down and cleaning it. This part, just be careful, follow your instruction booklet like you did when you originally put it together, and it shouldn't be that hard. So this is my final product. Here I'm posing it. These are some poses that were in the show. I really enjoyed the process of making this, and I hope you learned how to make your own customized model kit. There wasn't really anything that I would change, but maybe I would use masking tape because it was kind of hard putting it together. But besides that, it came out great. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.